Today, we are here bringing you our top moments from this season. A little bit of a draft. That way, we're not like just picking back and forth. Um, Jaden, do you want to get us started or should I get us started?
Oh, considering what happened yesterday, I'll give you the 1-1 pick. So, all right, here we're gonna do our top 5 moments from this season. So, just moments specifically, not necessarily wins, but you're like specific plays, right?
Yeah. That's
All right.
I would get moments like specific flashpoints
Yeah.
or like plays is
Okay.
what.
And I would say snake draft, 5 picks each, and then we'll do honorable mentions as well. We can
Yeah,
discuss some
yeah,
stuff. All right,
cool.
Jay, you got the 1-1
Yep, I'm
moments for
gonna
the year.
go my 1-1. Actually, wait, give me 1 second because
We can
not
keep
I'm not gonna pull up the sound, but like the which one is this? Oh yeah, this is the one I wanted to pull up. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one just because I was literally 2 feet away from this. Is the Malachi Tony running in this touchdown at the end of the A&M game? I just this is like I mean this is just personally because I was 2 feet away from him doing this, so that's gonna be my 1-1. And then you also consider the magnitude of it, what Tony's done this year. That's gonna be my first pick at least this year. I know it wasn't specifically the biggest play necessarily, just because you think that game's wrapped up if Tony just takes the first down, but regardless, that play from such a big player in that spot was electric to be. And just once that happened, you're like, okay, I was there on the other side when the Bryce Fitzgerald picks interception happened, so that might be up there too. But I would say that touchdown being right there with this key staple of what this Miami team has been was so sick, and that's going to be my first pick.
I had that on the board. Definitely a very, very, very strong pick. I thought about that one heavy. I'm gonna go for my number 1 pick. I mean, I think I have to go this one just because Keontae Scott's pick 6 against Ohio State to me is my favorite memory from this entire season. I was in the press box in Jerry World. You can kind of, it was me and 2 of my coworkers, Sebastian Font and Luca Musciardi, both watching it. You can see all of our eyes kind of like shifting to seeing Keontae Scott kind of reading that play. Sebastian looks at he says, "Oh," as Keontae Scott's reading that play and he gets the pick, and the press box, probably the loudest I've ever heard a press box that wasn't cheering, just in complete shock and awe. It was incredible. It flipped the game entirely. It changed my entire belief on that game from, Miami obviously can win this in a very close, very tough fashion to Miami's got a 2-score lead, have all the moments in the world. This is legit. Like they have a legitimate chance to not only win this game, but to make it look like a they belong in that spot and be that better team. I look at that play, I'm like, that's one of the best plays I've ever watched live in person. It's incredible when watching that play. And then I think you have to have this one for the next pick. Carson Beck, just the touchdown run against Ole Miss.
Fair,
I think you
fair.
have to go that one. I mean, that play it was the drive and the play that sent you to the national championship game. That play, that play doesn't happen. That drive doesn't happen. Who knows? Ole Miss gets that touchdown. The offense is rolling, but the defense is struggling. But Carson Beck, you're like, can he lead one more drive down the field? You get the Tony touchdown, but then you have that. He was so good in that drive. He was so smart, made all the right moves. And to cap it all off, when he looking around, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Looks to his left, goes into the end zone. Highlight moment. Watch that on the sideline. There's very few plays like that where you can look at and say, like, and just be in pure disbelief from that game. So I got to go that one as my second pick. You got 2 up next, Shay.
Oh, I got okay. See, this next one isn't a play that I'm going with.
Okay.
I'm just going with Selection Sunday. I'm going with
Okay.
between Selection Sunday and Cristobal's speech at the end of the Pitt game, just kind of wrapped into one, where it was like we were all sitting there watching that countdown happen. You go through all the teams, you go through all the picks, and we're like, well, we finally hit that point. We don't see Notre Dame, we don't see Miami. They're like, it's gonna be one of these 2 teams. And then for it to finally come to fruition, where it's like, finally, we're taking into what's supposed to have mattered this entire season, and we're making it matter right now with that pick. And then you see all the reactions online from the Miami fans. it was just an electric moment, and I think it was partially sparked by that Cristobal speech that was electric at the end of that Pitt game. So I think overall that would be. I was surprised you didn't end up taking that because that. I mean, we don't get anything else.
That's a really good
Committee
one.
if the committee doesn't decide, hey, this team belongs to be in here. And if we had, and if I had on disposal right now, I would pull up the Notre Dame reaction that went viral. But yes, that is my pick for number
That's a
two.
good one. I remember it now. I spent that entire day just either one booking trips and then the other part of it just nonstop watching different videos of Miami fans celebrating, Notre Dame fans getting upset, and like just the pure elation from that day. I don't think I could top how fun that day was, knowing that we got in like that breath of fresh air, that relief after everything that we went through over the last couple of weeks. That one felt really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. And then with my back-to-back pick, let me take a look at. See, I'm gonna go a little bit earlier in the season where I'm picking the Bryce interception to Malachi Tony touchdown. That sequence right there against FSU,
FSU.
where it was like literally the exact play after. Was it the flea flicker?
Yes, I believe so.
I think it was the flea flicker to Mally right after Bryce has that interception, and you're just like FSU crowd silenced. Miami is here. They're playing. This is not a team that was going to fold early or this early on in the season against a rival, and it was just an electric moment just because you have two true freshmen so young making that big of a play just back to back. I think it was what made it so electric to see in that type of environment and moment where I was also there at that game. Just those two plays being back to back live at Doak Campbell 4 was insane.
That's a good pick. I'm gonna go and you had mentioned this one. I'm gonna go the Bryce Fitzgerald interception against A&M. I think just from because I was on the sideline as well for the last couple of minutes of that game. Obviously, the Tony touchdown was incredible. Hearing, I guess, before the play, how loud those A&M fans were, that entire drive, what led up to that drive. And then when Bryce got that pick, hearing the air get sucked out of an entire stadium and only hearing a select like couple thousand in one specific section celebrate in that kind of fashion was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I want to say just that moment in itself is one of the most legendary moments ever for me, at least looking at it. I think that one for sure. And then my second pick, this one's kind of tough. This one's a little odd. Maybe not. Week 1, the CJ Daniels one-handed grab.
That was on my list.
That play was sick. The one-handed grab, that was a no yes play in everything. You're like, is Notre Dame's going to pick that? We're going to be at halftime in a game we should be dominating, and we're only up by one score. You get that touchdown, you're like, that's what we do. We're up 2 scores. Hell yeah! Like, what an incredible grab from a guy that we just brought over. What a play! I love everything. The vibes are really, really high from that week 1 game. The Daniels catch kind of flipped everything from that game to make sure Miami would hold on. I think everything from that game to me, I'll go that for sure.
That is a really good pick. Like I said, that in terms of, I forgot about it for a second. So I think I had that higher in terms of like where I had like rankings, and then it slipped my mind just because the sequence between that. But yeah, that Notre Dame one was insane because it's like, well, Miami is here for real. This is a real team. Like, and they're gonna go head to head with this Notre Dame team that was, so hyped or going into the season that the defending runner, well, not the defending champions, but the runner up of the last national championship.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that was like a staple moment. That's just gonna, it's gonna be a key moment just for people's minds. After that, let me take a look. I'm gonna go the Pat McAfee dive at game day.
Oh, I wanted that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, like that entire sequence where Pat is on like the actual desk itself, runs all the way around, goes up and says, "The U is back, baby," and dives in to the pool. It was quite electric. Yeah, and like so seeing that all, because I was being a runner for ESPN during that, so like seeing that behind the scenes kind of come together in little bits and pieces was also just like really cool, because I heard they were like ordering a speedo. I'm like, why are they ordering a speedo? And then turns out, look who it was for. And then also just afterward, just seeing Pat like afterwards be like, that was cool, man, and he was like, yep, appreciate it. So yeah, like that whole like, I mean, game day itself was just surreal to be at.
I'll give you game day as an entirety. That's I wanted that. I mean, that one's elite moment.
But like that moment where Pat's like, the U is back, and just jumps in. He does the whole like, he does the chant too. So like that like sequence right there was just a core memory in my mind of what this season is. So definitely that.
Okay. All right, you got one more pick.
Oh, I got one more.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the list here.
There's a couple that I got in mind, but
I will say I'm gonna say this one, and it's not in the best circumstances, but that Fletcher first touchdown against Indiana,
I had that.
I was so close to being like, this game's just over and done. And then Fletch just comes out around the corner, runs all the way down the field, and you're just like, holy, okay, we're alive. We're gonna be in this game. Indiana's not dominating us, and like just given who it was from, just Fletcher, him being the guy for Miami this postseason, and then making that big play when Miami just needed any type of spark right there, I think just was a moment that if it weren't a win, like you could debate that being like one potentially, like that's how like awesome that was to see in that moment.
I remember thinking about it because we were watching. I was like, it was the most. It's so over. We're back, kind of thinking in my mind, because we're down at that point. They get the ball back at half, and you're like, this game is over. Why we're here for all this run for nothing. They get the ball back after a punt, and Fletcher scores in I think the second play of that drive, and it was just electric stuff. From that point, I was like, yeah, maybe we're back essentially. One of those, we're obviously not back, but it was one of those where I felt that way. My last pick, I'm still kind of debating, because you did take that pick that I had. I think this one is probably going to waste. This one's so bad. It's not even good. I guess I'll go with it. The Jacoby Thomas pick 6 against NC State.
Okay.
I'll go with that one because I want to say, I was a little nervous entering that game. I was like, NC State's a very solid team. They got really good guys. I was a big fan of Justin Jolie and Daniels, CJ Bailey, and everyone that they had on that team. I was like, I think they're going to be a very good team. I think they're Miami's toughest opponent they have for the rest of the year. And the game essentially beginning with that pick 6, changed every thought I had in my mind. This game's going to be a blowout. This team is who they say they are. They want to be this team that's going to run, finish the last 4 weeks super strong and play their heart out and play their best brand of football on senior night, and doing that in that moment. I gotta say, I would say that there's also the Keontae Scott pick 6 against Syracuse. The moment of that means absolutely nothing. But in the press box, I told this to Sebastian and some of the other coworkers, Cam Underwood and some of the other people in the box. I uttered the words, Miami has not gotten a pick 6 all year long, or I'm not defense touchdown all year long. The very next, 3 seconds later, Keontae Scott gets that pick 6. So that one was pretty awesome too. But the Jacoby Thomas one, I think, was better. I thought it was a really fun play overall.
Yeah, it's also like Jacoby Thomas doing the come get over here.
Get over here. There's so many moments you could see. This season was so much fun. We can go into the honorable mentions.
Mentions. You want to talk about if it's so over and we're back moments? I forgot who forced. I think it was Keontae. Yeah, the Keontae Scott forced fumble against Louisville.
Oh,
right after the interception, where 2 seconds later, it's like, oh, we're back. We're alive in this game. So that, it's in a loss. So but also just given who it was from, Keontae Scott being this monster this season, and it being like the Canes being like, we're not letting this one go that easily, was just so cool to see.
Yeah.
So that's I just got to mention it. It wasn't too big. I will say in terms of big plays and wins, the Keelan end of half bomb was also like so
I was
sick.
gonna say that one. That was the one I was thinking of because it was from looking at it from my vantage point. I thought it was gonna be either a bad play, something was broken. I was like, Carson's got someone here, and instead I see him go deep for Marion, gets the touchdown. I was like, I shut up everything I was trying to say. I was very nervous about Beck for the entire game. He throws the touchdown. I'm like, all right, we're good. No, I got no worries right now. That was a hell of a play, hell of a throw. Like that one was great. And then I guess I could group all of this one together. But the Malachi Tony screen open plays, like including so like one of them was the FSU game where he had like that 30-yard where I think that one didn't even count. The one that got
the one that he like it was because it was like an offside. It was like offsides on the offense or illegal formation, something like that.
Formation.
And then he dumped it off to Tony, and he breaks like 18 tackles against FSU and scores. But he comes
that
back.
One, he had one against Indiana, and then he had one against Ole Miss. Between those three plays, those plays define that season of just Malachi Tony in open space. He is going to just bob and weave through traffic, break tackles, and get through and get into the end zone. That was elite play. The CC Maui Noah touchdown against Syracuse.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Elite play. Love that play very, very much. You got CC saying, I wanted the ball. I wanted to run someone over. And he's like, he was upset that he couldn't run anyone over. I like this was this Ole Miss? I think it was either Ole Miss or Ohio State. The first touchdown, Carson Beck kind of put his head down. Yeah. He pitches it to Fletcher, and Fletcher runs it in easily. The whole play design was incredible on that play, and I think I loved everything from that play and how it was all kind of how it was. I think that was just a really good play that capitalized off a great drive, and I think maybe just me, I find the Cotton Bowl to be more of a better win for me than the Fiesta Bowl. That's just the way that I think of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll give you that because I was at home, not at home, but I was at Monty's for the Fiesta Bowl. So to completely agree, just because like there's just a different environment when like you're there on the side and you're just like, oh my god, watching all this happen. But so I'll definitely give you that. Another one I was gonna pick up here, just point out, that last drive against UF where Miami just bullied them down the field. It was like Mark for a couple plays, Marty for a couple plays, Mark, like just alternating between them, just like rolling over UF, just in that rivalry game, just to put a stamp on this game. You can also point out the Jacoby Thomas like sack where then he does like the Ray Lewis celebration.
Yeah,
that too. But like overall, that last drive where like Miami was just like, yeah, we're just gonna run over you and you guys can't do anything to stop it was so cool. And I was like,
yeah, that's a good one. I have one. Oh, I think I just lost it. It was this one's so dumb. The JoJo Trader touchdown against SMU. I had belief from that game. I said JoJo's the guy. Let JoJo cook. This is the new era of JoJo Trader. We're back. From that touchdown, from that game, I was like, we got a guy again. And then obviously it didn't. But that touchdown, I was like, hell yeah, JoJo. We're gonna keep this moving. And then he dropped like 2 passes in that game, and also was like, they lost as well. But it was fun for the time being. The Josh Moore game against USF.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
40-yard touchdown, and then I believe he had a one-on-one touchdown. That was a fun game.
Yeah, because that was the USF one is when like he went over the top, mossed the dude.
Yeah,
it hadn't really played too much up to that point, and then he just comes out that game. It's a little touchdown, the drag over the middle. Like, okay, that's cool and all. And then just the second one where he just mosses this dude head top. Yeah, that's a good pick.
I have another one. This was I think it was end of the fourth quarter. So fourth quarter, Notre Dame, Bain and Mesidor go. They basically swarm CJ Carr. Both get the sack, and then Mesidor finishes with the Notre Dame celebration. He goes like that. Legendary moment that I was
considering that one. That one was like in my head on the list. But yeah, like that one was like. I mean, that was just like, oh, this is what Miami's going to have all season long. Yeah. These two guys coming after a QB. And yeah, so
There's a lot of those Messi and Bain play. There's the one again was the FSU where FSU is doing a read option, or it's either read option or a run. They pan the camera. You got Mesidor on one side.
yes,
They pan it again. They got Bain. That was the entire season. Like just looking at those plays, like that's what kind of ultimately defined the season so much. I mean, even the Indiana game, some of the Bain and Mesidor rips that they had, and they kept showing them. That was like I think you just watching that, realizing how much talent you had on that team and how much star levels like these. I mean, these are 2 first-round picks, 2 guys that should be amazing in the NFL. Like I love every second of the way that they were playing the entire year, and those clips kind of just like they stick to my mind right away. Yeah. Or even what was it? Ole Miss, where like 3 guys get to Trinidad, and then Moten or Mesidor finishes. Or was it? I think no, it was on. It was Ohio State. It was like 2 guys had already made contact with the quarterback with Sayan, and then I think either Moten or Mesidor finishes him with like a body slam to the ground, and like just describes how violent that defensive line was all year, and especially in that Ohio State game. They were so good in that game. It was perfect.
Because I was when you mentioned that, I was thinking of like that first sack when like it was literally Bain and Mesidor, like they just go take down Sayan. You're just like, well, it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day for that guy.
Fun year. I mean, it's cool that you can think of so many different moments in the season. We're probably missing quite a few still because it was. I mean, it was a great year from everything.
I mean, just like it was more. This is more funny, but just the stat padding at the end of the Pitt and the Virginia Tech games where they were just like, screw it, go. Like it wasn't even you're not like necessarily guaranteeing a touchdown. It's just like, oh, over the top, just go up and moss them. Then Malik did it against Virginia Tech, and then CJ did it against Pitt. You're just like, oh, nice way to end the game. I think the Pitt head coach called a timeout, which is what caused Miami to do it too. Which is like,
and then the Virginia Tech one, I was like a Malik Tony. I think he just mossed them. I think he totally mossed them.
Yeah,
that was great as well. All them. I mean, the best of the Malikat plays were very fun. Obviously, the peak of the Malikat was great. The lows were really low, but the peak was fun. Some of the if he had connected with, I think, Josh Moore on that one where it was like genuinely just like a regular just drop back, and they were just like, okay, Malik over the top and throw it. That would have been higher. That would have been probably one of like the highlight of it all. But yeah, like the Malikat when it was working was also so fun. He has one where I think he threw it to Dalen Upshaw, and Dalen Upshaw ran for like 48 yards.
Yeah,
I think it was against NC State. That was a good one. Malik was having so much fun in that game. That like, there's a lot of them. You look at like the team was just having a lot of fun. But like, there's moments from like, I didn't particularly think Syracuse was a fun game, and Louisville and SMU were both brutal losses. But every game I thought had a different level of fun to it. Like maybe Bethune was the only exception to it. I don't remember anything from that game.
No.
Yeah, it was a great year. I mean, it was a blowout, and they had Emory.
Like 45 to like the 3 or whatever it was.
They had Emory and I think Nickel in it at one point.
I did see a clip of Emory stiff arming a dude from that game when he was on the run.
Yes.
That you know what? That's getting tossed in the list.
The whole season could be an honorable mention at this point.
Yeah, I mean
every touchdown's an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. CJ Daniels in the end zone, going to the ESPN cameras and doing the tomahawk chop.
Oh, good call.
Great. I mean, that whole first half was some of the most fun football I've ever watched from Miami. That whole first half. We can exclude everything that happened in the fourth quarter. But the 3 quarters of that football were some of the most fun you'll ever watch Miami playing against another team, especially a rival like that. It was, second to none kind of stuff like that. And I'm not even going to try to mention any of the negative plays from the season. It was just, let's just focus on.
Yeah, your bottom 5 plays from the season. Number 5, Alex Ballman. Sorry, that was too mean.
Every David Blay offsides. Do you want to get into it?
Well, I mean, it's a quick list.
Let's do 2. Let's just do 2 plays. Just
2 plays. Okay, 2 plays. Obviously, blocked punt has to go in there, and I'll say this. Both of them are going to be special teams. The 3 missed field goals against A&M, I'm just going to say that's there you go.
I'll go the Mendoza Heisman run. That play is ingrained in my mind forever. That one and this one, I guess this one doesn't mean anything at the end of the day anymore. But the Marquise Lightfoot, Mario calling timeout and Marquise Lightfoot getting called for a penalty is one of the I've never yelled at a TV probably more in a long time than yelling at Marquise Lightfoot for not hearing the whistle and Mario for even calling a timeout so late in that spot. But other than I'll say those two specifically just probably burned in my mind.
Actually, I'm gonna say my worst memory is the Beck interception because I was 20 feet away from it. So yeah,
I had a pretty poor angle on it, so it's like I knew he threw an interception, but I knew he picked it, but it was so hard to see everything, paint a full picture of it for me to say that.
Yeah, I just remember we had waited because our passes didn't have the sticker for writers, even though we were there as writers technically, but we were just sitting there. We were on the sideline, like, oh, Miami's driving. Okay, good, because we were down at the tunnel, but then they were holding people back because they had all the TV cameras, and then we were able we're just here as writers. We don't have big TV cameras. Let us on. And then we got our stickers during the 2-minute drive, and then I think 2 or 3 plays in, I'm standing there, and then I just see it fly in, straight to I forget the corners, Sharp's hands. Jamari Sharp, his hands, and it was just
yeah. And then you probably got to throw in the back and forth pick against Louisville. That one was pretty bad.
That one, yeah. That one was really bad too.
Probably all 4 of his picks, but his last one was really, really bad.
The 4th one was the worst, just because you're just we were driving close enough for field goal range.
In red zone. We were in field goal range.
Yeah, exactly. We were in field goal range, and then it just did that, and then you're just okay, well, there goes. At that point, it felt like there goes the season for a little bit, and then obviously SMU felt like there goes the season for real. But yeah,
that's exactly what I felt when Lightfoot made that when Lightfoot made that play, and also against the Beck interception against SMU. Those to me felt like a season-ending play. That interception he threw against SMU. Thankfully, it wasn't. But when I think about that play in the grand scheme of things, I was very, very upset, nervous at that point. But things finally, went our way, and we had the season that we did, and grateful for that for sure. Unless there's any other moments you're thinking of.
No, I'm let me look at this. Let me look at the season just to look at the games.
I've been going through a lot of some of the regular plays that we even had. Think of maybe any creativity. There was just a lot of. I mean, it was fun. It was very you want to talk about a low point was the A gap Shannon Dawson.
The drama.
Yeah, the SMU stuff where it's just nonstop. Shannon, why you keep running the ball up the middle? It was that was the only discussion we had. And that was kind of from the beef and then the first half against Stanford was really bad. The first half against Syracuse was really bad.
I'm trying to think.
A&M field goals were much worse than those are really bad. Bad weather, really super windy.
I get it, but by the 3rd missed one, it was just oh god.
Yeah.
So
rough ones for sure. Great season though. You can't go wrong with that.
Shout out to Carter Davis for you know what? We forgot to mention. Good shout out to Carter Davis because beginning of the season, making that field goal against Notre Dame.
Great kick.
Even
the kick against SMU, he hit that kick to go to overtime against SMU.
True.
So yeah, I mean credit him whenever you can but for the playoffs, it wasn't great. Yeah. Special teams was an issue in the playoffs. That was objective truth. Wasn't great in the playoffs.
So hopefully our Jake Weinberg and some Matt Olson, Greg Olson, not Greg Olson.
Jack Olson.
Big fan. People who are big fans of kickers.
Hold on. Jack Olsen. There
Jack
we go.
Olsen. Big Jack Olsen's fans here in the house. Only 2 missed field goals.
And one more year of Dylan Joyce.
Look, I'll take it. I'll take it.
More Aussies. We need more Aussies.
More. So yeah, that I think that clears. I'm looking at the schedule. I'm like,